guys, welcome back. I just wanted to go over the cost of my trip to Scotland. That way, if you're planning a trip in the near future, you can just kind of get a general idea of how much to expect to spend. Now, I do want to just elaborate on a few things. I spent the first 2 days traveling by myself. The 4 days after that, I spent traveling with my friends. So some of the costs will vary a little bit just depending on if you're solo traveling or if you're traveling with other people. So just something to keep in mind. A few of the categories that I will go over is flights, transportation, accommodations, your activities and experiences, food and drinks, at least what I spent. Now, I don't drink, so if you're someone that drinks alcohol, you're gonna have to budget a lot higher. Or if you're someone that wants more extravagant accommodations, you're definitely going to have to budget a little bit higher. I did not plan to spend my time at the accommodation, so I went for more of the cheaper side. Do also keep in mind that the flights are going to change constantly. So especially with everything going on right now, I think at the time my flight was probably a little bit expensive just because I had booked it kind of a little bit more last minute than I would have liked to. I think flights are just a little bit expensive right now, kind of no matter where you're going. I did go on my trip in April, so it was about mid-April. I left on Saturday, got there on a Sunday, and then I flew out that following Sunday. So I was there for 6 nights in total. My flight costed me about $740. That was round trip. I flew out of Cincinnati and I had a one-stop layover in New York, and then from New York to Edinburgh. I would also note that I did not include the gas to and from the airport. I typically fly out of different airports depending on which one I can get the best price at. So unfortunately, the Cincinnati airport is about 2 hours from me. So it did take up some time, but in order to make it less stops to get to my final destination, it's a lot less stress for me, and that's just something that I prefer. Next, we have the accommodation. So I spent in total about $535 on accommodations. Again, that was for 6 nights total. The first 2 nights were just myself, and it was right around $100 a night. So even if I traveled completely on my own, I probably could have still gotten away with spending about the same amount of cost that I did end up spending in total, even when having other travelers with me the other days. So the amount of your accommodation is going to depend on multiple factors, the location, how many people are staying with you, and how you decide to split that cost. How much time are you planning to spend there? When I go on vacations, I plan to explore a lot. I don't plan to sit in my room and really spend too much time there other than getting ready and sleeping. So I quite literally don't care what my room looks like. Like, I still want it to be nice and I still want a place that has really good reviews, but I don't need anything big and I don't need anything fancy. So again, it's really just going to depend on what your needs are. But I think that you could get away with probably about the same cost if you're someone that's not looking for an accommodation that's too fancy. Next, I have transportation. So this includes from the airport to downtown Edinburgh. That way I could walk then from the bus station to my accommodation, which was only about a 5-minute walk. So it was super close. And I did get a round trip on that, so it saved me a couple pounds. And then it also included the train from Edinburgh to Inverness, a train from Inverness to Perth, and then from Perth to Edinburgh, and then there was a couple Uber rides that we had in there as well. So that ended up totaling about $122 total. And if you're planning to just stay in Edinburgh or to stay in one city, you're gonna save a lot of money on transportation because really you can probably just walk about anywhere. While I was in Edinburgh alone, I didn't use Uber or anything at all. So it was really just to get to the things that were outside of town or the transportation to get to a different city. Now we have food and drinks. Again, all of these categories really can fluctuate depending on how you like to spend your vacations and how you like to spend your money. I like to try new foods when I'm on vacations, but I don't care to spend a ton of money on food. I am more like an experience girly, so I just want to explore. I want to look around. I want to see all of the architecture. I want to see all the castles, all the buildings, a lot of sightseeing, I really should say. And I also don't drink alcohol. So if you're someone that's planning to drink alcohol while you're on vacation, Edinburgh especially, I would definitely plan to spend a lot more money. Edinburgh is not a cheap place to visit by any means. Just trying to be as transparent as possible too. So I would say that I feel like I spent a lot on food, not intentionally, just because their prices are a little bit more expensive than what I'm used to here in the States. The total for food and drinks came to $421. So again, That's going to give and take depending on how many meals are you eating a day. Are you drinking? Do you have late night snacks every day? Are you running to the convenience store? I know we did that a couple of times and we saved lots of money because we just didn't have time to sit down and eat somewhere. So if you're trying to save money, a lot of money, just grabbing something quick at a convenience shop is going to save you a ton. The next category I have here is activities and experiences. So again, something that's going to vary person to person. We did a few different experiences. So we did 2 Highland tours. They were both 12-hour tours, so it took up 2 whole days. The first Highland tour was about $104. The other Highland tour was about $94. And then in addition to that, we did go out and we pet some like Highland cows. It was about an hour experience, I believe, and it totaled about $37 per person. That was just something that we really wanted to do. We were in the Highlands, we were in Scotland, and we just thought, why not finish it off with Highland cows. We also ended up doing a lamb feeding, which was only $10 a person, so not a whole lot, but in total we spent about $277 on activities and experiences. This also did include admission to the Edinburgh Castle, so I did forget to put that one on there. But again, $277. So depending on the types of experiences and how many of them that you're wanting to do, that can add up kind of quickly. Another thing that I didn't want to throw on here is my eSIM. I did pay $30 for my eSIM, so it was 10 days of unlimited data in Scotland. That way I could have service to Snapchat and text my friends that have iPhones, and really just have the service to be able to have somewhat of a normal social life while I was in Scotland. Again, that was only $30, and that was through the Arrow app. That brings this trip to a grand total of $2,125.30. Now, again, this included the flight, the accommodation, the food and drinks, the experiences, the transportation, and my eSIM. I do want to note that this was my experience and my cost. This cost is going to vary person to person. I did get souvenirs while I was there. However, I did not include my souvenir costs in this video because that's very much going to depend person to person. Maybe they're there to get gifts for people. Maybe they're there just for the experiences and not souvenirs. Everyone's different. I'm just hoping that the flights, accommodations, and then the food and activities and experiences is something that will help you gauge and get a better estimate. I greatly appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions at all, I'm happy to give you individual cost per certain things. Go into more detail, really anything, but I hope you found this helpful. And again, if you have any questions, drop them down below and I will get back to you as soon as possible.